Continuing with Mysticism by Evelyn Underhill, because we keep learning something. On page 45, we're talking about the characteristics of mysticism. Mysticism as entails a definite psychological experience, more than the apprehension of God, and more than the passion for the absolute is needed to make a mystic. These must be combined with an appropriate psychological makeup, with a nature capable of extraordinary concentration. It's amazing how she analyzes this stuff. And exalted moral emotion. A nervous organization of the artistic type. All these are necessary to the successful development of the mystic life process. That's quite a statement. You have to be capable of extraordinary concentration, be exalted moral emotion, and have an artistic type for the mystical life process in the experience of those mystics who have left us the records of their own lives. The successive stages of this life process are always traceable. In the second part of this book, they will be found, worked out at some length. Roll, Suso, Teresa, Saint Teresa, and many others have left us valuable self-analysis for comparison, and from them we see how arduous, how diffident, and how far removed from mere emotional or intellectual activity is that educational discipline by which, quote, the eye which looks upon eternity is able to come to its own. One of the marks of the true mystic, says Lub Leba, by no means a favorable witness, quote, is the tenacious and heroic energy. Tenacious and heroic energy with which he pursues a definite moral ideal. He is, says Pacho, the pilgrim of an inward odyssey. We're back to Homer now. Though we may be amazed and delighted by his adventures and discoveries on the way to him, the voyage and the end are all, quote, the road on which we enter is a royal road which leads to heaven, says Teresa, Saint Teresa. Is it strange that the conquest of such a treasure should cost us rather dear? It is one of the many indirect testimonies to the objective reality of mysticism that the stages of this road, the psychology of the spiritual ascent as described to us by different schools of contemplatives, always present practically the same sequence of states. Quote, the, quote, school of saints has never found it necessary to bring its curriculum up to date. The psychologist finds little difficulty, for instance, in reconciling the, quote, degrees of orison described by Saint Teresa. Recollection, quiet, union, rhapsody, rapt, the, quote, pain of God, unquote, the spiritual marriage of the soul with the four forms of contemplation enumerated by Hugh of Saint Victor, or the, quote, the Sufis, quote, 7 stages of the soul's ascent to God, which begin in adoration and end in spiritual marriage. Though each wayfarer may choose different landmarks, it is clear from their comparison that the road is one. Theme number 5. We may come to the end of, we're doing the 5 characteristics as a corollary to these 4 rules. It is perhaps well to reiterate the statement I've already made that the true mysticism is never self-seeking. It is not as, oh no, I have to stop.